Everything he or she does will go smoothly, and many people will be drawn to that person who will then be blessed with material and financial abundance. Thus, their world will become a very happy place. Attaining such happiness comes from having true faith, or attaining such happiness comes from having true faith. If an individual is making an effort to live in accord with his or her faith and yet has not attained happiness, that person must realize the cause lies within. Thank you.
Let us go and praise the Lord. 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 Meshutama huyapina, 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 Meshutama huyapina. Let us go and praise Meshutama. Let us go and praise the Lord. Let us go and praise the Lord. Let us go and praise the Lord. Meshutama huyapina, Meshutama huyapina, Meshutama huyapina, Meshutama huyapina.
Testimony of Faith by Alison Esther Piper.
Meshutama huyapina, Meshutama huyapina, Meshutama huyapina, Meshutama huyapina. Let us go and praise the Lord. Let us go and praise the Lord. Let us go and praise the Lord. Let us go and praise the Lord.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alison Esther. I am 51 years old and full member 10 years. The purification that brought me to the church were joblessness and conflict in my marriage. All that has been solved through my dedication in the church. Thank God and Messiah wishes so. The testimony of faith that I wish to share with you is related to gratitude. In November of last year, my neighbor's daughter, who's 36 years old, was in trouble. She got assaulted not too far from our area. I was called to bring her back home. I went to assist and found her in a bad state. She had blood running down her face and she was beaten up with black and blue marks and bruises on her body and her face. Her face was swollen. She was terrified and crying out for help. when I found her at a strange house. I kept on calling her by her name. I kept on calling her by her name. But she didn't recognize me or anyone else around her at all. She fell down a flight of stairs while trying to defend herself. For 5 to 7 minutes, she couldn't recognize me. I gave up on calling her name, and then I started chanting the Amazon Rita prayer. It was then when she cried out and reached out to me, and she suddenly recognized me. She has she's been my member of one of the members of the families that I take care of. She came to me and called my name out loud. She said, "I only know one person who says that prayer, and that's Lisa, my neighbor." I was so grateful that she recognized me through the Amazon prayer. I then took her back to her mom's home. On our way home, a car stopped and a lady got out. She said she knows the lady that I was assisting, and she helped me to get home. Still, she couldn't recognize this lady assisting us, even though they were best friends at school. We then had to take her to hospital for a doctor to check her out. After arriving at the hospital, I was sitting with her in the waiting room, along with many other patients. I continued to pray and give her Jeray at the hospital. She then calmed down, recognized her friend, and after about an hour, she came to her senses. After some time, I realized how many people were terribly hurt and in extreme pain. It was a very painful sight. I decided to channel to rate patients waiting to get treated. We spent 4 hours at the hospital, and I channeled to rate at least to 22 patients. There was a patient that was struggling with breathing. After 15 minutes of Jeray, his breathing got better. There was another patient with severe bleeding. The woman was hemorrhaging from both the front and the back side. After receiving Jeray, she bled a lot in the toilet and the bleeding slowed down. A baby couldn't stop crying. I gave Jeray to this baby, and after some time, the baby stopped crying and the pain disappeared. A man, a man's face was completely covered with bandage because he was badly hurt. He was bleeding and was in severe pain. After giving Jeray to this man, his suffering got better. He was much calmer. After being in the hospital for 4 hours and chanting Jeray, I realized that 80% of those patients I gave Jeray to were feeling much better. Some even came to me to thank me and said their condition. I witnessed with my own eyes how effective and powerful Jeray is. None of those patients had seen any doctors yet, but they were already feeling much better. For this, I truly thank Supreme God and Messiah Jesus. This made me feel extremely grateful and happy. After dropping the lady back home, I went home and delivered all those ancestors to God. I cried for a while because I realized how many people are suffering out there. This experience truly humbled. I then developed a friendship with the lady that assisted me with my neighbor. She started receiving Jeray from me every time we met. We were guided to do the flower workshop in the full members' homes, and the people they took care of. So I invited the lady to the flower workshop. She came along with the youngest daughter of 4 years and participated in this flower workshop. We made flowers, channeled Jeray, and asked teacher Tatiana questions. 2 or 3 days later, she had a big accident. Her car was a total write-off. To our surprise, everyone was severely injured, but she was in a stable condition. The people in her car had to undergo surgery and some received stitches. She was the driver of the vehicle and was admitted for assessment on her head due to the car capsizing 5 times on the freeway. She came out without a single scratch. Everyone involved in the crash survived. I am very grateful for the big purification my friend received through, for the big protection my friend received through participating in the flower worship. Thank God and Messiah Messiah. She continued to receive Torah through the guidance of missionary Helio, together with her children. For some time after the accident, Brother Helio and Sister Nella did a flower workshop again at her house, this time together with all her children. The changes I saw from my friend are beautiful. Before we met, she used to scream, swear, and hit her children all the time. Since she started coming over to my house every day after work, I started witnessing how different she started communicating with the children and also how much calmer she became. One day, she came to my house and said to me that she had decided to stop hitting her children and to stop swearing at them, but rather to speak to them calmly. Thank God and Messiah. My friend also told me that her family members didn't visit her at all. Her sister started visiting and her sister started visiting her and started respecting her. Her husband was always working, leaving her at home with the children and never participating in family events with her. It was always her, and the children. This situation changed too. He now spends more time with her and the children, and he comes home earlier every day from work, and he has been with them on every weekend. Thank God and Messiah himself. What I've learned that we must never take the power of Jeray for granted. That Jeray is divine. My commitment is to continue taking care of through Jeray and to guide as many people to Meshusama through Meshusama's teachings and through Jeray. I thank Supreme God, the Messiah Meshusama, and my ancestors for leading me on this path of salvation. To all the ministers, full members and members, thank you very much. Alison S.
No more turning back.
making. Another testimony by E. Emilio Carlos Chisano.
Good morning, everyone. Testimony of faith. My name is Emilio Carlos Chisano. I'm 48 years old. I've been a member of the church since June 2, 2014, and I give service at Jores Center in Maputo as part of the Moon Group. I was guided to the World Messianic Church of Mozambique in September 2013 by Brother Jaime Custódio da Cruz Sabão in Congo. One day in a bar, he shared with me many testimonies of faith. I spoke to the minister when I first came to the church. He guided me to follow the basic practice of the Messianic faith, namely to receive Jore and the practice of the teachings of Meshu Sama, which I began to put into follow. Before I was guided to the church, I had nightmares at night. I slept peacefully after receiving Jure for the first time. In the beginning, I followed the basic practice of faith, but refused to make donation. One day I hear the speech addressing the teaching of Meshu Sama that talks about detachment. The speech touched me a lot. I came to think that the minister was excited and that he was reading my life, which led me to request a deep reflection with him. From this reflection, it became clear that I did not make the donations. He guided me to make daily donations, the tithe, the construction donations, pilgrimage to the sacred grounds of enjoying the net of salvation. I followed the guidance and could complete my donation to receive the image of Canon and the sacred altar in June 2014. In 2015, I received the permission to pilgrimage to the sacred grounds in Japan, Brazil, and Angola. In 2016 and 2018, I received the permission to pilgrimage once again to the sacred grounds in Japan. Before joining the Messianic Church, I was addicted to alcohol, women, and other night practices. Within the Messianic Church, with Meshu Sama's teaching on spirituality, I started thinking about my life. I realized that There was a negative karma in my father's family where men and women between the age of 35 and 40 lose their jobs and get divorced. This happened with my grandparents, my parents, and my uncles. I have lived with I have lived with a woman on 3 occasions, and in all of them were separated. In 2012, I resigned from my job due to a bad work environment. I was convinced that as I have an academic background and professional experience, I would easily find another job. To my amazement, I couldn't find another job, even though I ran for positions below my profile. With obedience, alignment of my surname, giving service with the net of salvation, and putting into practice all the guidance received, my life and my negative karma in my family have changed completely. I got married. I got married. My brothers and family members started. Sorry. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. I took on several senior positions in major development projects with funding from international development agencies. I'm currently self-employed and I'm very happy. The testimony of faith I would like to share with you is related to obedience, alignment of surname, and pilgrimage with the caravan to South Africa. At the end of 2022, I received from the Vice President of the Church in Mozambique the mission of spreading the light of Jore and teachings of Meshusama in the Katembe district, the area I live. I accepted these missions because it was guidance from my superior, but I confess that I did absolutely nothing. Some time later, I received another mission from the Vice President of the Church in Mozambique to coordinate the monthly caravans for the monthly services. I received this mission with great pleasure because I like South Africa very much. The activities of the monthly caravans are to participate in the preparation of the spiritual environment for the service, which is cleaning the place where the service is held, preparation and distribution of flowers of life, as well as to participate in the service of Sunday. When we started the dedication of the caravans, we received the guidance to dedicate to the surname of gaining the permission to have our own space for the church. And the minister mentioned that Mozambicans and South Africans are brothers. That is because although separated by borders, spiritually there are no such borders. There are many spiritual connections between both peoples and countries. These words led me to reflect on the importance of making a commitment to continue pilgrimage with this honor. As many of our ancestors migrated from one country to another in search of better living conditions, and many of them their never returned to their country of origin. In the monthly service of February of the Church of South Africa, the president of the church stressed the need to take care of other people, having said that what pleases God most is guiding others to church. I confess that it was not the first time I heard this guidance. However, those words made me reflect a lot on my faith. Some time later, the vice president asked me if I had ever prayed in the town of Ponta Goro, which borders South Africa, at the province of KwaZulu-Natal. I answered no, as that location was outside the Gauteng district. He said to me, if you want to split the church in Gauteng, look at Ponta Goro as the horizon, and later have Durban as the new horizon. I talked to some full members and members living in my district and surroundings to find a way for us to make marches of distribution of powers of light, channeling of Jure, and opening of houses to establish religious unity in those places. On the 25th of March of the current year, we distributed 1,168 flowers of light and opened houses in several neighborhoods. During the dedication, we received the permission to pray and distribute flowers at the house of the secretary of one of the neighborhoods. After talking about the church, he asked us to take the church peacefully and promptly offered a plot of land of 50 by 50 meters for this purpose. My uncle, my father's brother, who works in South Africa, completely distanced himself from the whole family for more than 15 years, and no one could contact him. He even changed his phone number. It should be noted that approximately 3 months ago, because of the dedication of South Africa, my uncle started to frequently communicate with me and always wants to know the whole family is doing well. We already have the altar of bomb in the family. We have already completed the donation to receive ancestors' altar, and my wife and I are preparing to join the caravan from Africa that will pilgrim through the sacred grounds of Japan this year. It is noted that donations are currently my favorite dedication, and I strive to not trade it. From these testimonies, I learned that Jure and the practice of Menshu Sama's teachings are the key to solving all our problems. We simply need to follow the guidance and simply obey it. My commitment is to focus on Jure the practice of Meshu Sama's teachings to guide as many people to this path of salvation and to participate in building place of salvation. To the Reverend, ministers, missionaries, full members and members, thank you very much.
Words of the Vice President of South Africa, sorry, Paulo de Souza.
Morning. Mela. How are you today? Bom dia. You happy today? Yeah. I was very touched to hear two first songs that I heard when I was one Baba and the heard the voice of our faith Lord and my first contact with the African land. Very touching. And please, you will hear the song on time. Presentation for the monthly service. Welcome to our two members from Mozambique, of South Africa. And before I ask the President to come guide us, give us the guidance of Mission Month, I would like to invite two full members of to share our testimony. First is Sister Leonor. Oh.
Boa tarde a todos. Aqui montamos um pouco de
We'll translate. Speak slow, translate.
No. Chamo-me Leonor Teresa Martina, sou membro da igreja, dedico-me no Juré Centro da Anatola. Conheci a Igreja Messiânica em 2017 por intermédio da irmã Carmen Rebelo.
My name is Leonor Martini. I'm a full member and I dedicated to the Center Matola, Mozambique. I met the church in 2016 through Sister Carmen, also a
O motivo que me levou a conhecer a igreja foi a vivência
The reason that guided me to this church was the sickness of my son. He was bipolar.
Já tinha passado por poucas igrejas e tinha passado a ver brandeiros, mas não encontrei solução para este problema. Foi em meio a este sofrimento que a irmã Carmen começou a conhecer a igreja. No princípio estava importante, porque seguíamos bem, mas por causa do sofrimento eu tinha que ir à igreja. A primeira coisa que eu escolhi na igreja foi a mão do pai.
I've been to many churches in St. Thomas, but I never found a solution for what is done. And it was in the midst of the suffering that Sister Carmen invited me to meet the church. And I was a little bit reluctant at the beginning, but because of the church, because of the sickness of my son, and she was explaining to me, I decided to come. And I must tell you that I found very strange to see everybody with their hands raised.
No fim do culto, o responsável do Juré Centro explicou-me o que é a Igreja Messiânica e o propósito da mão levantada.
At the end of the service, the responsible of the church in Pet, today she dedicated Matola, but she was guided in Pet, as a province of Mozambique, the north. But he explained to her what is the church and why, the reason why people work with their hands raised.
E orientou-me para as práticas básicas da messiânica, as quais eu cumpri e melhorou consideravelmente.
And he guided basic types of practices of the church and followed it. My son is very much.
A minha outorga estava marcada por dia 3 de abril de 2018. Porém, eu recebi uma chamada da CA, do Centro de Aprimoramento, a informar que tinha sido alterada para o dia 8. Fiquei muito eu tinha que parar a festa, mas orientaram-me para ir ao altar agradecido e filho.
I was planned to receive the recording on the 23rd of April, but it changed to the 8th of April, which year was that? 2017.
Yes.
And I became very cross. I was angry because I had prepared a big party to celebrate, but I was guided to be grateful and go to the altar to say a prayer.
E otorguei no dia 28, aliás, no dia 8, e no dia 11 de abril, o meu filho teve uma crise muito forte e eu tive que ministrar junto. A partir daquele momento percebi porque é que a data da outorga tinha sido
I received the mail regarding the 8th. On the 11th, some had a very strong episode of sickness, and I had to take them. So at that moment, I understood why I had to receive my earlier than it was prepared. You understand? Yeah.
E para agradecer esta graça, materializei um ativo especial de Deus.
Thank for all these blessings I materialized my gratitude in the form of a special donation of gratitude.
A experiência de fé, por relatar e partilhar com os irmãos, está relacionada com esta peregrinação.
The testimony I'll share with you now is related to this trip this pilgrimage that I'm doing now.
Quando cheguei no centro de acolhimento, no momento que nós nos a voltar para pedir a permissão para a viagem, não consegui orar como deve ser, porque começou a chorar.
So before the trip, they gathered at church, our main church there, and we say a prayer, asking for permission. And during the prayer, I could not pray because I was feeling very upset, was really emotional, and I started to cry a lot during the prayer.
Depois da oração, três irmãs ministraram o chorei. Enquanto elas ministravam o chorei, senti um sono leve. E no momento que eu cochilei, vi
After the prayer, just immediately after the prayer, the sisters came to me, started giving me Jure, and I felt very sleep, very light, nobody more like a trance.
e no momento que eu cochilei, eu no momento que eu cochilei, o meu pai
The moment that I surrendered to the I saw my father and my mother, late, father and
eles estavam a caminhar em direção à porta da liturgia. E chegaram lá, sentaram. Ao mesmo tempo que isso acontecia, os meus antepassados estavam todos na nave. Conheci meu pai, meu avô, os outros não conhecia em vida também, mas eram todos da família. Os outros bem mais velhos a dançarem na nave. E quando escutei, fiquei muito impressionada.
that time they came up, my father walking towards the beach. And a lot of my ancestors recognized my father, they were dancing, they were very happy. All
E naquele momento, percebi quão importante é esta peregrinação para os meus antepassados. E o meu compromisso é encaminhar pessoas no caminho da salvação e, acima de tudo, continuar a participar das peregrinações.
At that moment, I understood the importance of my ability to guide my people and to participate even more.
Com estas experiências, aprendi sobre a importância de alinhar o som. Há todos os pais compartilham esta experiência pequena de fé, mas muito profunda para mim, os meus sinceros agradecimentos.
I learned with this experience the importance of aligning our song, putting our mind aligned with the feelings of the disciples. Some, all of you that practice short yet very deep testimony. Thank you. You all know Sister Amelia. Sister Amelia. Maria Amelia. Her sister. Get your sister resemblance. The sister of Maria Amelia. Then I also want to invite Sister Moine Shaka, please. Come here. Morning, everyone.
Sou membro da igreja há 17 anos e fico no centro da fora de
My name is Moine. This is Shaka. I've been a full member for 17 years. I dedicate the censorship for the
Gostaria de contar com uma experiência assim. Há mais ou menos 2 meses, comecei a sentir uma dor forte no lado direito. E me incomodava muito, era muito difícil para carregar as coisas. Tive que mudar a minha bolsa para uma vez complicada. Não comecei depois das
She has been very effective quite a time. They intensified a couple of months ago. At the point, reached the point that she had to take a small bag, little things, because carry a bag to make pain worse. The right downside.
E marquei consulta de fisioterapia. A médica mostrou, disse que o meu muscular direito não relaxava. Infelizmente, ele vai por causa disso, criava aquela sensação.
Doctor, doctor that the muscle was in constant stress on my right side. It did not relax. Doesn't happen the same thing on the left, just on the right side. That was causing those heavy pains.
Então, passei a fazer sessões de fisioterapia 2 vezes por semana.
And to have 2 sessions of
Melhorei muito mas sempre tem aquele ponto. Mais ou menos meia hora de levantar, ficar sentada, nem muito tempo em pé. Eu tinha que policiar, às vezes eu esquecia e na dor ficava.
All I need to be better, but I had to sit down, maximum 30 minutes, stand up, maximum 30 minutes. So if I did not pay attention to that, then I spent too much time standing or sitting, the pain would come.
E agora, para a caravana, eu não estava preparado para tirar as coisas deste mês, estava preparando para o mês de maio, mas recebi a orientação de Cristo e organizei na sexta-feira para comer. E no dia da viagem, na sexta-feira, às 5 horas, estava para fazer a oração e vir para a viagem.
I was not prepared to come to the government. So I received the guidance on Thursday, started on Thursday, to travel the following day. Thursday noon, was not even in her mind. But anyway, they started preparing, following day, 5 a.m. I was right.
Mas eu tinha muita dúvida. Eu pensei em várias coisas, não ia conseguir acordar, começou alguma coisa. E quando fizemos a oração, ficamos à espera, o carro nunca mais apareceu.
I was concerned that it would have not come. I thought maybe I would oversleep, not wake up on time. Something is going to happen, and I won't be able to come. And indeed, the car that was supposed to arrive at the church 5 a.m. did not come.
E
Transport.
o tempo foi passando, então começamos a organizar a nave para o uso matinal que é às 7. Faremos, fizemos a limpeza e começamos a preparar o curso. E participei do curso matinal.
And because the car only came at 2:11. So between this time, 5 a.m. till the time they started cleaning the church, they participated in the morning service, 7 a.m. that side, they prepared the service, they prepared testimony, they cleaned the chairs, they cleaned the toilets, they cleaned the hall of worship, they cleaned everything. And they did a march of today.
E depois do curso também ficamos na marcha de Turim.
After service, we started march of today.
E a marcha de Jurei, eu acho que fiquei quase 3 horas sentada na marcha de Jurei. Eu tinha me estado 13 de Jurei quando parei de contar. Quando eram mais ou menos 11, foi quando os responsáveis da caravana estavam tinham chegado. Só naquele momento que eu percebi que eu sentei mais de 1 hora de tempo sem.
After the service, it's 7:30. I sat down to give Joey. And I gave Joey from that time straight until 11. So it was more 3 to 4 hours that I was sitting. And only after I finished, I realized that there was no pain.
Também toda a viagem aqui é muito tranquila, não precisei ficar em pé, não precisei descansar muito. E também fez decidir que acho que há mais de 2 anos eu não participava na empresa da nave, das cadeias, organizar tudo. Atividades que antes eram muito normais, porém eu não fazia muito.
It was a 6-hour trip from more than 6 hours from Mozambique to here. I did not feel pain. I did not have to ask to stop the car, stand up, and I came very nicely. And it was then when I arrived here that I realized that it's been more than 2 years that I don't dedicate to bed services. So it was 2 years that she did not.
Então, muito obrigada a Deus essa experiência que eu partilhar.
Thank you very much. This was the testimony. And now, thank you for the testimonies. I would like to invite our President, Reverend Bob.
Hallelujah.
Tabonga. Good morning. How are you? Thank you very much for being here today. Thank you for staying among the citizens of gratitude, working together with you here, express your gratitude for God in December, for all the protection, the blessings, the purifications going through during the month of March. Receive the strength from our monthly service, permission this month of May. I'm very happy to be here with you. Thank you very much for the four wonderful testimonies of faith. Thank you very much. It was really wonderful. I got a bit of them, speech. I arrived from our general headquarters of Japan 3 days ago. I spent about 12 days then in our secret grounds. And it has been 4 years since I went there due to the pandemic. Yeah, now it was closed for over 3 years. For, yes, and so it was not pilgrimage to the secret grounds. I only had meetings with our world president online. Talk had our meetings online. And after 4 years, it was amazing to come back to the secret grounds, to the place that Miss Sama built along with 5 years of our religion, to receive a lot of strength. I think that the monthly service of April, the first of April, and also could report our activity to our good president after Sakara, receive guidance from him, yeah, so that we can go on with the construction of our sacred grounds in Kakwaku, Angola, and the expansion in the countries of Africa. Are important activities that were developed here in the other countries, and it was really very good. Also, I could also start to prepare our pilgrimage group to Japan. It will be in October of this year. So it's very good. It's interesting that the first activity I'm doing after my return from Japan is to be here with you today. And I could listen to many testimonies related to pilgrimage, yeah? The effort they are doing every month from Mozambique to be served here with us, together with us to participate in our expansion work, the construction of paradise. And we see how deep it is to make an extra effort to pilgrimage, to develop activities of the divine life work. It's the testimonies we heard, they show us that it's really very important for all of us to pilgrimage like we are doing from Mozambique to here, to the province, to the sacred grounds. When we do this, we receive extra light because we do an extra effort. Yeah? So it's very amazing to listen how it's changing your lives, the lives of your relatives, and people who have spiritual relation with you. Because as you grow spiritually, people who are connected with us through the spiritual cords, they also grow along with us. It's very important to understand this from His Son's teachings. And we heard the two wonderful testimonies, the first from our sister Lisa, yeah, where she showed us how important it is to spread the light of joy. Joy is the life of the world we send to church. Joy is the method that God chose to bring salvation on a wider scale to the whole world. The goal of joy is not to heal the disease or solve the problems, though it doesn't, but to awake us to the very existence of the Supreme God, to awake us to the true belief that there is a spiritual power, an invisible power that manages, rules the material world. When we start to give more joy, see the miracles of joy in the lives of other people, like Lisa did in the hospital, in our life, the life of our relatives, we start to awake, oh, God exists. I cannot lie, I cannot deceive people, I cannot try to achieve success, destroying the lives of other people. Because there is something called the spiritual world. Everything we do is recorded in the spiritual world. Our thoughts, our feelings, our words, our deeds, they are seeds that we sow, and we always reap what we sow. If I sow seeds of pineapple, I will not reap banana or avocado, yeah? Because everyone reaps according to what has sown. It's very important for us to understand this. And this practice of joy, all of us must become effective practitioners of joy in our home, with our family, introducing joy to people that don't know it yet, giving joy, taking care of these people, and helping them to awake to fulfillment of their mission in construction of paradise on earth, of saving humanity. We could all see from this one of our brother, son, yeah, how his life changed when he arrived at the church. At first, as he said, it was difficult for him to press a donation. He heard about detachment. Everything lies in our ego and attachment. Everything in our life. All our problems have as root our ego and attachment. As we try to strive to overcome this, we uplift ourselves. As he started the touching, make the donation. He started seeing the results in his life, how his life started to improve, his health, his peace of mind, financially, and also the life of his relatives. Yeah, he cried when he started saying that because you see, a long time suffering, and more than our own suffering, what hurts us more is when we see our loved ones suffering. That's what he reminded. Oh my God, we suffer like that before the conference, for meeting issues. So it's very important to share the testimonies of faith so that we can study them together and reflect about our own practice of the teachings of Meshach. As in Japan now, in the service, we are still translating, to reviewing the translation of the guidance of our president. When we have it in Portuguese and in English, I'll study it better with you. But one point that Reverend Sugihara, our world president, taught us in the monthly service in the Sacred Cross of the Family was about our self-improvement. Because we may receive blessings with Jorei, giving service, practice teachings, but we need to awake to the necessity of our self-improvement. We need to improve ourselves on a daily basis. Try to improve, do our best to improve, because this is the way of nature. Our very own body, our body is composed of about 60 trillion cells. 60 trillion cells compose our body. And these cells, they are regenerating every time. In our intestines, every 3 days, they are replaced. Our body is replacing itself every day. Our body produces blood every day, 25 to 50 ml of blood every day. Our body produces. And the old blood is expelled through our sweating, through the urine. So every couple of weeks, our blood becomes completely new. Nature shows us how essential it is to search, to seek for our self-improvement, to become a better person as a father, as a mother, as a citizen, as a professional, as a missionary, as a human being. To improve not only materially, but improve what is deep inside our hearts, doing our best to make a difference in the lives of other people who have affinity with us. Otherwise, we'll keep, even receive blessings with Jorei, my life improves, change, but we'll practice faith only to receive more blessings. We will not practice faith to improve the world, to construct paradise on earth. When we are really committed with the construction of paradise on earth, naturally we are improving on a constant basis our family, our world, everything will improve along with us. That's why last time I came here, when I spoke with you about how important it is to guide people and take care of people, teaching them about your reign, about Miss Summer's teachings, helping them to become useful people towards the construction of paradise on earth. This is the best way to become loved by God, to become really useful in changing the lives of other people. This is the mission of our religion. Yeah, now we see how things are, how can I say, are intensifying in the world. We spoke about this. We are already in the last judgment. The last judgment is not that, oh, someone will come, Jesus will come, God will come with a big bird and say, Rebecca, come here, tell me your sins. It's not happen like this. It's fairy tale. I'm speaking plain with you. I'm being direct with you. The last judgment is already happening. Is this world purification process that the Holy Man is going through. The impurities we accumulated during the age of night, moved by our ego, our selfishness, we create suffering in the lives of people. We create spiritual clouds, we and our ancestors. And now, in order to cleanse it, we need to have this transition from night to day inside of us. We need to overcome, we need to make this transition from selflessness to someone who has love for other people. We cannot keep being selfish. We need to become altruistic people. We cannot be materialistic. We need to become really spiritualistic. How will we do that? Even Jorei, reading, practicing teachings, and above everything else, taking care of other people, guiding people, taking care of them. This is the best way to construct a strong faith in God and the salvation summer through the practice along with people we'll be taking care of. Recently, I heard a testimony of faith from one of our missionaries, he's a full member in Angola. Yeah. When he arrived at our church, he had been a member, a very committed member in that church, Jehovah's Witness. Yeah. Jehovah's Witness, he really very dedicated person. And it was very hard for him to, to accept the idea of receiving the grace and following mission things because of everything he had learned. But though he was a fervent, a committed member in his church, his family had very big sufferings. His mother had lost four of his sons. Every time they were in the age of 24, 25 years old, they suddenly died. Four of them had died. It also happened in another relatives' lives as well. And they all of them died in the same month, the month of December. You see, it's really a big suffering. And when he started in our church, he started out of, oh my God, is it true? It's not Jesus centered, it's not centered in the Bible. But he started receiving joy. He started feeling the chance in his life. See, he saw chance that led him to receive the God. So this changed in my life. I still don't believe so much, but I see this chance. So I received, became a full member, and one of the speakers again, Paula, he attended the service, and I spoke about how important it is to become useful to God in this summer, everywhere we are. We cannot practice our faith only when we come to the church. We, as Messianic, we must be pragmatic as Messianic. In our home, in our street where we live, in our workplace, in our school, place where we attend. We don't need to be preaching about God in this. We need to practice. We need to be polite, be respectful to people, to worry about the people who are around us, to keep the place clean with flowers. And he started doing this at his workplace. There, cleaning, making furnace. The way he spoke with his workmates, really respectfully, and his boss and his workmates, he starts seeing, but you are different. The way you speak with us, you always say please, you always say thank you. People start to notice how different he was, not one day or two, but on a daily basis. And his boss asking him, why do they behave like, oh, I'm missing. Oh, so you are a pastor? No, I'm a member. No, but you behave like a pastor. Oh, but I'm a member. I'm a simple man. A full member. Yeah, I'm a full member. And when there were troubles at the workplace, instead of firing the employees, the boss had called him and said, please, advise me. Give me advice. Two of the works in a big company, one of the places a hotel. Two of the employees, they were always drinking in the restaurant of the hotel, and they got drunk in the workplace. So they should be fired, yeah? And even according with the work law, they're all working there. But the boss said, oh, they are at the old age. If I fire them, it will be a big problem for the family. So please, Pastor, help them. So he called them, gave them jewelry, started talking with them, gave capability to their homes. They started improving their behavior, changing their behavior, and they were not fired. And the minister told him, no, you can't only help them to not be fired. You need to guide them to show them what they did wrong. They need to acknowledge what they did wrong. And they need to change their behavior. That's why it's not only to solve the problem, you need to connect the person with God. So he guided those two one of these things in the church. And as he did that, he started doing this with a lot of people. Every time they had troubles, they brought to me. He kept doing that, and he started guiding people to the church to become full members. As he did that, his life naturally in the workplace, he was getting more and more confidence and trusting. His boss was trusting him more and more. He was promoted. His salary increased 9 times. And he was also blessed with the opportunity. He bought his own apartment. And through the financial financiamento, né? Leasing, yeah? Like a loan, yeah? Loan. He could do that. It's only a small fraction of his salary now. Yeah, everything started to change. And what's more amazing, after he started doing all of this, his family situation also changed. Now there are no more deaths of the youngsters in his family. Every year, the month of December is only for mourning. Now they are together for a party, to commemorate, to express gratitude. So it's very, that now he really believes that the Son is the Savior of humanity. Is the Messiah that humanity has been waiting for a long time. Because he saw this change in the lives of so many people and in the lives of his very own family as well. So it's very important for all of us, yeah? When they say, oh, I'm giving service, but my life is not improving. How am I giving service? Brother Sano, his personal faith, we need to study, to reflect about it. Receive a guidance from the Vice President, Mr. Paulo, to start the expansion work in the place where he lives. He did not do that. And he did not take that with both hands. He was not committed to the task he received. And the other task he received to bring the pilgrimage group, he started doing his best in that. And it's his Makoto, therefore he started doing to that, asked him to fulfill also the other mission he had received. You see how embarrassing it is. Because when we receive a task like we receive it, how can I do my best to fulfill that? Oh, I want to give the service doing this, but what does God wisdom want from me? I want to give the service as I want, or I want to do what wisdom wants from me, expects from me. It's very important, this attitude towards God and mission son. And as he started doing that, we see so many changes. You see, it's not easy. Then the church was blessed with a plot that is 2,500 square meters big. This big, the plot. 50, 50, yeah? It's very big plot. A place to build a journalist center. And this started with his decision to fulfill the mission he had received. After he started coming here every month, something started changing in him, and he got qualified to fulfill his mission, expanding in the place where he lives. Led to many changes, lasting lives of people, and this time is opening the way already, and Red gave a plot to build a center in that neighborhood. You see how important it is that each one of us start doing our best in our home, in our neighborhood, in our workplace. Take the flower, take the light, start with vegetable gardens. Let's introduce Ms. Sama Jore's teachings to the world. People need to know that Ms. Sama has arrived, that it's possible to change our lives. The more we do that, the more we love by God, protected by the Supreme God, because we will be useful for the construction of paradise on earth, for the salvation of humanity. Everything always starts in our heart. That's why when we say in our heart, when someone says that, for example, we have this is our soul, the divine part, the peace of God, each one of us receives. Around our soul, like my hand here, is our, they someone say in Japanese, kokoro, our heart, our feelings. And around here is our spirit. What surrounds our divine part soul is our heart. We need to cleanse our hearts continually. That's why it's so important the practice of eternity, the contact with high level art, the daily reading of the teachings. You see, when we do this, our heart is continually purified. When we say heart, it's not only my feelings of love, of gratitude, it's what's really deep within me, what moves me. Only I and God know what's deep inside. And we need to improve this continually, every day. The reading of the teachings, the giving and receiving of joy, the giving of service, and the daily contact with art, not only Cabana is essential, but other forms of high-level art in our everyday life, it will improve more and more what's deep inside each one of us. It will allow our soul that's hidden to expand and guide us to fulfill our mission. And after the March of Glory and the successful service, we'll have an activity of fun. It's very important to can participate. And let's take this to more and more people. It's very important to show to people how it's possible to change our lives, to change our faith, the faith of our families. It's possible because wisdom has arrived to allow us to do it. That's what I want to share with you today. Once again, thank you very much. And I hope that next month I can be with you. And let's do our best to bring people that we are taking care of, first-time visitors and members, so that together we can express our gratitude to God and His Son. And during this year, we may have the opportunity to have our own place again here. Thank you very much. Have a good mission. Thank you.
Umoya, oimwe, ayalimwe de umoya, oimwe umoya, oimwe de
Thank you. Hereby we end the monthly service of gratitude of the World Messianic Church of South Africa of the month of April 2023. Thank you.